Hi, everybody. Karen Schaal here, and you're listening to the Karen Schaal podcast, where we expand the mind and grow the heart. If you've been traveling with us through this 5-part series on awareness, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. We have been talking about awareness, and as you know by now, this isn't just about noticing things. It's about transformation. And today we're closing out the series with what might be the most important message of all. Awareness is always worth it. Awareness is always worth it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it shows you something you didn't want to see, even when it seems like nothing's changing fast enough. Because awareness is a gift you give yourself. It's a practice of honoring your life by paying attention to it. It's how you stop throwing your time away, your energy away, your presence away. So today we're celebrating what you've learned. We're tying it all together, and we're talking about why awareness is not just useful, it's sacred. In fact, Jon Kabat-Zinn, the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction, calls awareness the heart of mindfulness and describes it as an act of love, being willing to witness your life exactly as it is. You've chosen to stop running, to start noticing. That's no small thing. And when you do that consistently, you begin to give your own life the respect it deserves. You begin to show up with the kind of presence that says, this moment matters. This experience matters. I matter. That's what this practice is. It's an act of self-respect, an act of appreciation for oneself, and as Kabat-Zinn says, an act of love. Over the last 4 episodes, we've taken a deep and deliberate journey into the power of awareness, not as an abstract idea, but as a real-life tool for transformation. In episode 1, we began with the basics. We explored what awareness really is, not just paying attention, but choosing to see ourselves with clarity and compassion. We talked about stepping off of autopilot, noticing how we move through the world, and gently beginning to observe what we're doing, saying, and becoming. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that we can't create change unless we first see. In episode 2, we brought that practice to life. We looked at how awareness becomes a way of being, built slowly in real time through small, repeated moments of noticing. We introduced the idea of witnessing awareness and functional awareness, and we made it practical. Check your tone, your posture, your words, your thoughts, one thing at a time, without judgment. We also returned to the importance of personal integrity, how awareness leads us to live in alignment, and who we want to be. In episode 3, we explored how gratitude supports awareness, not as a trendy mindset, but as a foundational emotional practice. We shared how authentic gratitude helps anchor awareness, how it builds emotional intelligence, grounds us in goodness, and allows us to approach ourselves and others with gentleness. Gratitude in this series became more than appreciation. It became the heart-centered engine that keeps awareness moving. And in episode 4, we turned toward the hard days. We asked, what does awareness look like when we're tired, overwhelmed, or stuck? And the answer was beautiful. It still works. Even when you don't feel strong or inspired, awareness is still inside of you, holding steady, keeping the lights on. We gave permission to do less, listen more, and trust the process. We talked about how awareness doesn't just help you cope, it helps you prevent unnecessary burnout by learning to listen early and often. One of the greatest misunderstandings in personal development is that awareness is passive, that it's soft or gentle or slow. And yes, change is often incremental, sometimes even tediously slow. But that doesn't make it passive. Awareness is radical. It is active. It is full contact living. It's like stepping into the boxing ring of your own life. You're not sitting in the stands. You're not watching from afar. You're in it, feeling every emotion, noticing every reaction, choosing how to move next. That's not passive. That's powerful. You know what's easy? Numbing out, distracting yourself, blaming others, bouncing from one thing to the next without stopping to check in. That's a default mode for so many of us. And honestly, that's what most of the world is doing. But guess what? You're not most of the world. And as we wrap up this 5-part series, I have a toolkit for you. The essential practices we've been exploring together. These aren't one-time actions. These are habits of mind, body, and heart that make awareness real in your everyday life. So here's the tools. Witnessing awareness, becoming the third-party observer of your life, watching without judgment, seeing your patterns with kindness and curiosity. Functional awareness, practicing presence in motion, paying attention while you're doing what you're already doing, brushing your hair, tying your shoes, making breakfast. Behavioral anchoring, using ordinary routines, turning on the shower, locking your door, as gentle reminders to pause, notice, and reconnect. Emotional granularity, learning to name what you feel precisely, building your emotional vocabulary to reduce overwhelm and increase clarity. The What Went Well review, ending your day with reflection, naming 3 small things that went well to shift your focus towards strength, progress, and hope. Gratitude as a value-based modifier, practicing authentic appreciation not as fluff, but as fuel. Gratitude changes how you see yourself, others, and the world. It reinforces the goodness you're moving toward. Micro check-ins, quick self-scans. What's happening right now? What do I need? These tiny moments of attention recalibrate your inner compass. Compassionate tracking, writing down what you notice without pressure, without performance, just insight over time. Now that you've got the awareness toolkit in your hands, what do you do with it? First, don't treat it like a checklist. This isn't about mastering all the tools at once. It's about finding what resonates with you right now. Maybe it's anchoring awareness to your coffee routine. Maybe it's journaling what went well at the end of the day. Or maybe it's simply remembering to take one kind, conscious breath before answering an email. Start small. Use one tool. Live with it for a few days. Let it become a part of you. Over time, these tools weave together. They reinforce each other. They build momentum. This is how you stop living by default and start living on purpose through small, consistent, brilliant choices. And when life gets chaotic, as it will, your toolkit doesn't disappear. It adapts. The tone softens, the volume lowers, but it's still there, like a steady hand on your shoulder, reminding you who you are and what you're capable of. So go back to it often, come back to this list, return to what grounds you. These tools are yours now, not just for insight, but for action. Not just for peace, but for power. There is something deeply sacred about being aware in your own life. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you've never triggered. It means you keep returning. You keep practicing. You keep showing up. And you begin to realize the more you pay attention, the more beauty you notice, the more goodness you see, the more compassion you feel. This is the practice. It doesn't always feel easy, but it always leads somewhere meaningful. And when you pair it with gratitude, authentic, practiced, and grounded gratitude, you create a whole new kind of alchemy. That's how your mind expands, and that's how your heart grows. Before we close, I want to offer you something, a glimpse, a vision, a lived example of what an aware life might look like, not someday, but starting now. Think of this as a gift, a portrait to carry with you, because awareness isn't just a practice, it's a way of being, a way of seeing the world, a way of walking through life with your eyes and heart open. And when you live this way, not perfectly, but with intention, you begin to experience something extraordinary. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you really are, about honoring your experiences, trusting your process, and letting your inner brilliance guide you, even in small daily choices. So let's imagine what this life looks like. Not a flawless life, not a fantasy, but a rich, grounded, beautifully human one. Let's meet the kind of person you're already becoming. We see someone who shows up, not perfectly, not always gracefully, but consistently. Someone who listens to their inner signals, the dread before an overcommitment, the tight chest of anxiety, the whisper of joy in a quiet moment. This person sees the world through the lens of appreciation, not because they're naive, but because they practice noticing goodness alongside challenge. They make small choices moment by moment toward honesty, kindness, and strength. They're not immune to difficulty. They have down days, bad days, old patterns, but they don't stay stuck there. They rise again and again, not because life is easy, but because they've committed to a deeper path. They live with emotional intelligence, tuning into what they feel without being ruled by it. They take responsibility for their energy, their impact, their growth, and maybe most importantly, they live with a sense of purpose, a noble calling, because they know that awareness isn't just for personal peace, it's for collective good. It makes them better parents, partners, leaders, neighbors. This isn't a fairy tale. It's what's possible for anyone when you commit to the small sacred choices that awareness invites. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, aligned. This is growth. This is brilliance in motion. So here's what I want you to remember as we close out this series. Awareness is never wasted. It always pays off, even in the hard moments, especially in the quiet ones. Awareness turns your ordinary days into sacred ground. I want to thank you for going on this journey with me. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to go back and re-listen to the series from the beginning. Each episode builds on the next, and together they form a foundation you can come back to over and over again. And if this podcast has helped you, I hope you'll share it with someone who might need it. Leave a review, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. This isn't the end, it's a beginning. You are becoming more of who you really are, one moment of awareness at a time. I'm Karen Schaal, and this has been the Karen Schaal Podcast. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.